Hi everyone, Movie Worm back again with another review, and this is going to be for the 2021 film A Quiet Place Part 2, and it's directed by John Krasinski and stars Emily Blunt, Millicent, Simmonds, Noah Jupe and Cilia Murphy. Now this takes place after the events of A Quiet Place, with Evelyn and her family trying to survive in a post-apocalyptic world dominated by creatures with highly sensed sound who hunt you down if you make a noise. Now this film was set to release the week the pandemic seemed to arrive, didn't it? And we finally have it just over a year later, and if the phrase "good things come to those who wait" is anything to go by, this movie is a perfect example. After an explosive and brilliant opening to this film, we are finally thrust into the bare feet of Emily Blunt and her family, and I kind of got what I expected from this story. I knew it was going to be them just trying to survive and get from A to B, fending off these creatures, and it is, but there's a few nice surprises along the way too. Now, one of the unique things about A Quiet Place and A Quiet Place Part 2 is that the viewer is in a bit of a different experience, because these characters can't speak. They have to make as less sound as possible, and I feel like this is a hard one to nail down if you're a movie director. You've got to get it right, otherwise you're going to lose your audience. But John Krasinski directs the shit out of this film, and he just got it so right. And this is definitely one of the best things about this movie. I went to cinema to see this in iSense, and I just want to praise my fellow audience members there, because it felt like they were there for the same good time that I was. I mean, when the silent scenes do come along, you can hear a pin drop. The tension is absolutely hair-raising. And the silence was deafening, of course. Now, when it cranks up the volume a little bit, you can just tell how good the sound design is in this film. When characters are behind the wall and the creatures are just lurking around the corner and little sound beats are thrown in here and there. It was honestly one of the best cinema experiences I've ever had. And like I said, this is massively helped by John Krasinski's directing. I mean, he even gets some really unexpected moments so right here as well. Now, this is not a film that relies on jump scares whatsoever, in my opinion, but there are one or two thrown in there that catch you off guard. I mean, I went to see The Conjuring 3 this week, and I seen every one of them jump scares coming, but here I didn't. John Krasinski is ahead of you all the way there, and this is massively helped along by something I just mentioned, the sound design. Now, all these sound beats are just thrown in at the right moments. The volume is cranked up to the max when it needs to be. It all just works brilliantly, and it also has a tremendous score going for it. A score that gives off a sense of dread, which is what this world is. I mean, it's not the nicest place to live, of course, but when these creatures show up, wow, the score really does start to ramp up and kick in, and it's just awesome. I was just watching this movie going, wow. The look of this film is also incredible too. Just by looking at it, you know the world is in deep trouble. I mean, there's plants overgrowing around buildings and crawling its way up the sides. There's empty properties that people have just abandoned. There's other people just trying to survive with whatever they can. This really reminded me of the Last of Us 2 video game. Now, if you've played that and you know what it looks like, that's what A Quiet Place 2 looks like. I mean, it really gave off that vibe and captured it so well. I mean, if the Last of Us TV show is going to get any pointers whatsoever, look at this film, because it really gave off that post-apocalyptic feel. Whilst we're on the whole look at the film as well, I gotta mention the CGI here. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I know that you have to do it sometimes. In fact, most of the time these days. But these creatures looked incredible. I mean, this is some of the best CGI I've ever seen. When it's done right, I can appreciate it, and you have to applaud the quality. But not only that, the design of the creatures as well. Wow, they looked terrifying. We see them a lot more in this film, and you can just see how much care has gone into them when their faces open up and stuff. It's really something to look at. So, yeah. The whole look of this movie is just amazing in every single department. Now, let's just speak about the characters in this film. Emily Blunt really does give off that care and mother vibe, and that's exactly what she's playing. You can tell that she really just wants the best for these kids. She will look after them no matter what. They come first. And she's always going to give a good performance, isn't she? I mean, Emily Blunt is top tier actress now, and She picks up where she left off in the first film. However, Millicent Simmonds is the one who really did step her up here. I mean, I thought her performance was fantastic playing this young deaf girl, and she just really takes charge of her own character. Now she knows the situation she's in, and she's not feeling sorry for herself whatsoever. And I just thought she would give a really good performance there. Now Noah Jupe was kind of the weak link. I mean, he wasn't too bad, but he just came off a little bit annoying at times. But I think that's more down to some of the dumb character decisions he makes. I mean, it's not a bad acting performance. It's just some of his mannerisms and stuff kind of noticeable at times. Now, Cilia Murphy, however, stole the show for me. Now, I say steal the show, but he's a brilliant actor anyway, isn't he? Let's be honest. But I just thought that he was a welcome addition to this franchise, let's say. I mean, he brought so much to this character that he plays. He was someone I could get behind, someone I cared about, and someone I just wanted to survive in this horrific world that we're in. And I do have a couple of minor gripes with this film. One of them being some scenes feel a little bit elongated to suit the runtime. And as an example of this, in one part of the movie, a character will think about climbing a ladder to get out of a hatch. And in the movie, he'll cut to another bunch of characters and come back to him. And he'll be walking towards the ladder. Then it'll cut to another bunch of characters. It'll come back to him. He's climbing a ladder. It'll cut, come back, and then he's coming out the hatch. And this film does this a few times, and sometimes it does actually work because it helps with the tension. Other times, like this, it's just kind of noticeable for me. I mean, it wasn't really doing anything for me or the film itself. Another minor gripe I do have with this film is the ending. Now, I absolutely love the way this film ended, actually, and when the credits just appeared on screen and stuff. But it's something just before that. It's very, very coincidental. And it's great for the characters involved, what happens. But it just felt to me like, that's a bit of a fat chance. However, guys, this is a fantastic film. The direction, the sound design, the characters, the story, everything just fits really well. And I knew where it was going in the third act, but at the start of the review, like I said, there's some nice surprises along the way as well. I'm just going to go ahead and rate this movie now. I'm going to give A Quiet Place Part 2 an 8.5 out of 10. For me, this is better than the first film, which is an accomplishment in itself. Okay, at the end of these reviews, I always like to leave a little fun fact. Now, a fun fact for A Quiet Place Part 2 is that acclaimed film director William Friedkin said that this is an instant classic horror film in a tweet dated back to May 29, 2021. And he also said that cinema is back. Well, William, I couldn't agree with you more. Okay guys, I hope you all enjoyed this review. If you want to subscribe, it's up to yourself. I've got a lot more reviews coming, lots more videos, and if you want to comment about A Quiet Place Part 2, leave it down below, and I'll reply to every single one of you, I promise. Take it all easy, guys. I'll see you all in the next video.